Welcome back to another episode of a musician's podcast. Today I had the pleasure to speak with Wesley Robertson, who just released Follow You a few months back with Matt Pridgyn, Amél, and Thomas Mastin. I hope I said their names correctly. And he's an EDM newcomer, so I'm super excited for the insights. You have to know for this episode that this is not about music composition, but about EDM. So I will lean more into music production in general. That does not mean that I won't interview composers anymore. Not at all. I still love composition and I'm hoping to have more composers here in the podcast. But for today, we're going to look into EDM and have fun with the interview. Let's start with who are you? How old are you? Where are you in life right now?
Yeah. So my name's Wesley. I am 22. Last time I checked. And I don't know. Um, I am in my last school term right now, so just trying to finish that up and then looking for a job. I mean, in terms of music, um I started producing back in 2020, and it's gotten pretty big. It's done pretty well. I mean, you probably found me through the Amél Matt collab, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that was pretty huge. I got supported by Afrojack, and that was lots of fun. Afrojack, Frank Walker, some other big DJs that I really looked up to. Getting into music production, which is pretty cool. Uh, so yeah, just trying to build off momentum with that, but at the same time, I am like just trying to get through my last semester at school, so
Yeah.
it's just trying to balance everything right now. But yeah, I don't know what's the difference between like school and study in Europe.
Well, school is up to 10th or 13th grade.
Oh,
And
and study is like
after,
university.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm doing study. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. What are you studying? If not
Uh,
music, or are you studying music?
no, I'm not actually. I'm in a double major, math and business.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Math and business.
Yeah,
That's,
it's a double major, so it's a lot of work. Like that's why
yeah,
it's hard to balance everything. But yeah, so
uh,
just trying to get through that.
I can totally relate to that because I am studying finance and working at the same time. It's like a dual system in Germany. So okay, I can relate. It's a
Hmm.
lot of work to do, but
Yeah,
how
where are you from in Germany?
near Munich,
Okay, I went to Freiburg.
Freiburg. Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
that was pretty cool.
Do you were here for a DJ gig or was it just on vacation?
I wish. No, this was back in like 2021, I guess.
Mhm.
It was just a family trip, and we went to go visit some places. Like, all right, we went to like Basel and
Mm.
Switzerland there, and then we went up to Freiburg, and yeah, we didn't really go anywhere past that, but
All right, but that's awesome to just
yeah,
to travel. It's I love it.
for sure. Have you been to Canada before?
Not yet. I've never been to America at all. Not the north, not the south.
No.
All I know is Europe and Africa. That's all I know.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's nothing,
Not too
nothing.
bad. I have plenty of time to go to
Exactly.
other places in the future, most definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So, how did you get into business and mathematics that you study that instead of music? I mean, you could have studied music, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could have. I'll just put it into a little bit perspective in terms of time. So 2020 was my final year of high school, my last year of school for
Mhm.
you. And then after that, you have to figure out, what university you want to go to, where you want to study. Yeah. That time I started applying to all these programs, like all these math programs and everything. So math and business programs. So I just ended up doing that. But that's also when COVID happened, right? If you remember that. So um I kind of like already applied to everything, and then I started getting into music production, and then
Oh,
yeah. But with that being said, like something I don't regret by any means. Like I know maybe it would have been cool to like do like a music degree, but like I don't know. I can still produce music, and I don't. I'm still always learning like different things. I know how to play piano. Like it's not like I don't really see any added value that I would have gotten too much out of a music degree. If I'm gonna be 100% honest.
okay, yeah. But
Especially
how?
like there's no like EDM like dance like oriented programs in Canada. Yeah, that would have really suited what I'm trying to go for. So
Yeah, if the people know your music, it's definitely EDM inspired, and uh, I like it a lot. I listened to some of your tracks, but you mostly do remixes, right?
yeah. I don't know. It's hard to get like a good vocal to find online because like either they're overused or like splices like I don't know. You can find some vocals online, but they're pretty overused and um kind of like sucks in that way. So and also having a remix is like you're taking another track that people might know and adding your own personal touch to it, which I think is equally as interesting, if not even cooler for me. And yeah, so I really enjoy doing that. It's I don't think it's easier or harder anyway. People always think, oh, remixes are easier or harder, but you're still having to create like a new melody, still having to produce a whole thing out. Um, yeah, sometimes like you can use existing melodies and things like that, but like I try to stick away from that. I mean, I did that for maybe one or two of my remixes, but again, you're trying to, it's almost harder in that sense because you have an existing melody idea in your head that you maybe hear from the
Yeah,
existing track and you have to kind of create a new one. It's like so counterintuitive in that sense. So,
that's true. And you also, if you want to add your own touch, you have to make sure that you get the vocals, but uh, the melody is still there. And how do you get rid of it? Or like, how can you work with that? So I think that's even harder to remix than to make something your own.
yeah, exactly. But at the same time, like making an original track, like if you want to like record a vocal with your friend or something, like it's hard to like see end vision because you don't know like what the arrangement's going to be and things like that. Like at least you can have that when you do a remix. So, which is
Yeah.
it's a big part. So, um, I guess each has its difficulties and each are easier in its own way.
Mhm. Yeah. How did you get into music?
That would have been 5 years ago. Wow.
Five.
Um, yeah. Uh, I don't know. I just got bored during COVID. Um, I knew how to play piano. I really liked listening to like Martin Garrix, like like all the big DJs, like Avicii Kygo, even a little bit more niche DJs too, like some of the spinning guys and stems guys I still really like listening to. But so the full story is like there was COVID and like I don't know in Canada like it was like lockdown like you couldn't really leave your house or anything like you could go for walks maybe but like there really wasn't much to do. Was it the same in Germany?
It was partially locked down, really. Yeah, you couldn't go
Yeah,
out, or that at night you couldn't go out. So
yeah. So yeah, so same for us. Like there wasn't much to do. So I think I don't know if you know like Kygo's discography is not much, but he released like this album called Golden Hour, and I really was inspired by it. But he also like made these like tutorials on YouTube on how he made some of those tracks.
Kygo
And
made tutorials.
he yeah, these like very like 10-minute long like tutorials. And I
Oh,
started watching them because obviously they came up on my YouTube page, and I'm just like, why don't I know like how to play piano? Why don't I just try doing this? And that's where it all began. thought it was so much fun and just kept on doing it.
Awesome. And so it really started then, but you know knew how to play the piano before that. Did your parents get you to play the piano, or was it just your own interest?
I've been playing since before I can remember, so it was definitely my parents, my grandparents' influence.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's awesome. And do you think it had helped you to get to the point where you are right now? Would you have said like, no, I could have done this all when I started to make music in during COVID?
100%. I don't think I would even be producing music if I didn't play piano. Like,
Oh, okay. So that was
yeah,
the connection then.
because yeah, like what got me into like even that EDM music is just like literally playing along on piano to like songs like Firestone or like things like that and just trying to learn them. And then that kind of like sparked my interest in EDM and then also making my own melodies and things like that. And then yeah, like even the Follow You track, like that started on the piano and I again, if I didn't know how to play piano, that song would never existed.
Yeah, I'm just learning the piano now as well. So even though I started with music production and now I'm getting to play the piano and just the connections that I'm making
Yeah,
with
100%.
the hand and the audible is it helps so much to know how what to play and what sound it makes. And then if you just try to get that inside of the computer, it's way faster. And to
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
okay,
sure.
I am playing in A minor, then I
Mhm.
need those notes and I can't use the others or preferably not the others. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
important.
Figuring out the chords and things like that and the melodies, 100%. But that's for me like where all my ideas most of my ideas start just like taking my phone just like listening to a raw vocal from like a remix or something like that and then just trying to figure out like the chords.
Awesome. So that's your process. You how do you get the raw vocals?
Usually when I try to remix songs I usually find like the stems online, so I usually just do that, or I just use like a AI stem splitter or something like that.
Oh, okay. What do you use for that? Or where do you find these things? Because I I'd love to make a remix, but I never know how to get the vocals. And with the AI splitters, I've not been satisfied up to now.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's super fair. There's this website called Song Stems, and I honestly sometimes just go through that and find here. I'll send it in the chat here.
mhm.
Um, I just go through that and see what songs there are stems for, and if I like it, maybe I'll remix it.
Awesome. So simple. So, I've listened to your Jungle remix, and it's very, very similar to Matt's Jungle remix. Did you
I
guys
know.
team up for that, or how did that
No,
happen?
Matt made it the year after I did. But there's so
Yeah.
many remixes. Like it's all following that original melody. Like people were calling me a rip off of, another one, and I'm just like, okay, well, it's following the same melody. Like I don't
Yeah.
know what you're trying to get at here. And same with Matt's too. Like it's following the same melody that I did, but I also followed the same melody from the track. So like I think
Okay.
each has their own different little spin on it. And I think that's what the remix is. But yeah, no, that was definitely just the original melody from the track, and he just turned it into a prog lead. I turned it into more of like a big room lead.
Mm. All right. That's
There's so many remixes out there that like follow that similar melody though. I know. I was looking at the comments when people posted that, and they're like, "Is this Wes's remix?" And it's like, "No, it's not." Oh, guys, guys, I found it. I found it. I found it. It was Wes remix. I'm just like, this is Matt's remix. Like,
okay. That's so fun. So you started with the piano, then you listened to the music, and played something on the piano to accompany that so that you could bring your own style into it.
Yeah. And then just build it out with synths, drums, samples, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I can show up a I can bring up a project maybe later on if
Yeah, we'll go into that later.
yeah. Okay.
Um, what are your favorite VSTs and plugins that you use to make your music?
I think trying to think Saturn, like Saturn from Fab Filter.
Hmm.
I like abuse that plugin. I just love it because it just beefs up the sound so much. I just love using it on my leads because everything just sounds so thin without it. Definitely that. In terms of processing, trying to think what else processing. Like just like I honestly use like a lot of like the stock Logic plugins, like the reverb, like distortion, that sort of thing. I don't think that there's anything wrong with them. In terms of like actual instruments, I just got Omnisphere. I think that's a pretty cool plugin. There's some like pretty cool sounds, except for there's so many sounds in it that you have to go through all of them and it's hard to find, which kind of sucks. But yeah, so that um I really like I think Nexus has some pretty cool sounds too.
Hmm.
I think like they're all pretty like mid sounds, but they're cool to use for like layers or getting ideas down and things like that. I just got Keyscape too, with the Omnisphere. That was some pretty cool pianos in there because I find like especially with the Nexus plugins or some of those plugins like the pianos don't always sound that good. I'm trying to think. Serum, Spires, Silent. I'll use those for a lot of my synth players. That's pretty much about it.
Okay, so that's a lot of plugins. How much do you think you've spent on plugins and stuff like that?
Not too much because I don't know if I should say this, but like there's I'll put it that way. I think you know what I'm buying.
But okay, that's good to know that you get them that way.
I just find they get so expensive. Like the Omnisphere, like it's like
Yeah,
so expensive. I'm just like,
it's crazy. I just bought a Nexus for
okay.
140, and it's the smallest pack that you can buy. And and then Nexus is like 400, and I'm also really into orchestral music. And
Mhm.
then there's one string pack, and I think like Hans Zimmer strings or whatever, and it's like 400 to 800 bucks. That's like crazy.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, with that being said, I think there's still some pretty cool like free plugins if you just look. People are
Yeah.
so like tied up in like, oh, I gotta get Omnisphere because like everyone's using that. It's like, okay, you can, but there's other cool free plugins out there that maybe not as many people use, but they do just as well. Like I think people, yeah, should also just try free plugins too.
There is a lot of good stuff out there. Have you ever used Vital for synths?
I have a bit. Like I have it downloaded. I have some presets that I use in some of my tracks, but it's not like a big player for me in terms of
Mhm.
VS anything.
Yeah, and I mean, free stuff is good, but I think if you really want the really professionally good stuff, probably have to pay for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Um, so I think 3 years ago or something, you uploaded your first track on YouTube. How did you get to that point? How much did you how many tracks did you make and then to then decide, okay, this is the one that I'm gonna post now? Or was it like start unperfect, I just made this and I just want to share it. How was the
Yeah.
thought?
So again, I started back in COVID 2020. So it's like, I guess, April 2020. Built out like so many just like random tracks that they're never gonna see the light of day. Like they're sitting on my hard drive. For everyone's best sake. I just kept on doing that. I think I had like four, one, two, three, four or five of those that I made. But again, I was never like happy enough with it. And then I just kind of kept on working at this one song, and it got to the point where, you know what, I think this is finally ready to say, you know, it's good enough for early. So
All right.
finally got to that point. But yeah.
And comparing to the point where you are now, it's like very different. If you say you get a lot of people who pay attention to your tracks now, it's a little different. But how was the initial response to the first track? It now has 763 views. But how was the feeling? Did you expect like, oh my gosh, tomorrow it's gonna have 1,000 views, or what was it like?
To be honest, like I'm just trying to think about like the headspace I was in. I don't really think I had much expectations because I didn't really have like an Instagram account. I guess I did, but like it was all just like my friends following it who don't even listen to EDM. So um
Okay.
and then when I pushed it out, like I just posted it on my Snapchat story and things like that, and kind of like was under the expectation that like my friends might listen to it, and I don't know, hopefully they'll like it. But yeah, so just kind of push it out that way, and just try to get my friends to listen to it. That's about it. And just because obviously some of my friends knew I was I guess making music as a hobby,
Mm.
so they were kind of curious about, what it actually kind of sounds like. So I think people like thought it was cool, nothing crazy.
I'd like to think that too.
Yeah, for sure. Whereas now I'm in a different spot where people are actually following me for my music.
Okay, so now you have 3 years of or 5 years of making music experience, 3 years of releasing music. What changed in that time? How did people perceive you? What did your friends think? And yeah, how did you market yourself to get to the point where you are right now?
I thought importantly, just posting about it, because that's how you kind of gain traction. I mean, you can gain traction through like labels, like SoundCloud, and just posting on Spotify, but like it's hard for people to come across a random track on Spotify, especially. So I think just, yeah, just promoting yourself, even if they're like cringy reels and things like that, you just kind of gotta push yourself out there, and hopefully it all works out. In terms of my friends' reactions, I think they're still on board. Maybe they're just lying to me, and they know I have people like listening to my music, so that so like they have to lie and like fake like hype me up or something like that. So um I still have friends that listen to it, but again, like it's hard to push like an EDM track, like a big room track, for example, like to your friends that only listen to like rap or like hip hop or something like that. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's always kind of difficult. And then I also appreciate that they're listening to it in the first place. So
So in the 5 years that you made music, what was your most important resource in terms of learning, if you can say that? How did you learn, with courses, with tutorials, just by yourself? What was that like?
I think the most important thing is YouTube. There's so many YouTube videos out there. Just like if you want to make like a tech house track, like how to make a tech house bass line, how to make a tech house drums or whatever. I think that's really important. But I think another key thing that people kind of skip over is just like downloading FLPs of like different remakes and things like that, and actually seeing like the actual layers and just playing around with it for yourself. I'm not a FL guy. I use Logic, but I kind of got to understand FL Studio, and I was able to, save presets that I really like from different remakes or samples that I really liked and kind of use that in my own tracks, as opposed to, I don't know, just downloading these whole preset packs and just going sifting through them to see which ones I like. Yeah, so I thought that's pretty important. And then yeah, again, just YouTube and just seeing how different people make different things, whether it's a remake, whether it's trying a new genre, whether it's big artists, even like showing their process too. That I mean, again, that's how it kind of got me into it. Like Kygo doing that, and then I know Mike Williams does that too. Like Disclosure, if you know them, like they did a video, like an hour long video. Yeah, again, lots so many people do it that I think it's so insightful.
How much do you think that the sounds that you have in your library, how much do you think they matter to your music production?
People always like talk about like building a sound. You got to sound like unique. I save like channel strips and things like that I kind of use, keep on going back to. And I think that's kind of important because it's easier to build out tracks that way, but it's also cool to kind of build out your own sound that way, kind of like using the same like channel strips that you end up using, and it kind of all attributes to particular sound. So I think it's important, but with that being said, you can't just reuse those finite 100, let's say, presets. You gotta kind of experiment and try new things at the same time too. So for example, like if I just continue to reuse the same lead sound, same kick drum, like all my tracks are gonna sound the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if I change it up a bit, then it'll start to sound different. And yeah,
Moving on, you are not only producing music, you're also DJing, right?
yeah,
Did that come with the music production, obviously, but how was learning to DJ like?
yeah. So I think it came with the music production. You kind of when you produce songs, you kind of understand how they're structured, different keys, how they mix, the different effects that you can use on a mixer. I think that's pretty important. But I think in terms of actually learning how to DJ, it is like infinitely easier than um like
To make
learning
music?
how to produce. Like it's
Yeah.
actually crazy. DJing so easy. Um, I always tell like my friends, I'm just like it if I could like take you under the wing or something like that, like I could get you as good as like a Tomorrowland DJ in like a week. It's not hard to do. Like
Okay.
I think the importance, like what makes their sets so good, is obviously like having their own sound, like in Tomorrowland, like Martin Garrix having that prog sound, and then just the sound song selection, which happens beforehand. You know what songs are going to go into the next. How do you keep that energy level up? And if you kind of prepare your set, it's not hard to do at all. The
Yeah.
transitions are really very straightforward too. Whereas there's so many more variables that go into music production. You got to create your own melody. It's like you actually have to be your own person, not just play other people's tracks and follow this algorithm where I bring the volume up and I change to low and then bring the other track down. Like that's easy.
Yeah. So the statement you could teach someone to be a Tomorrowland DJ is that's a big statement. But what is it? How do you find two tracks that match that you can transition from one to the other with a good transition?
Yeah. I think it really depends on like a few things. Obviously, like mixing a key. I'm sure you've heard about that. I I
Mhm.
I do it because Sounds good. Obviously similar to same BPM, so it doesn't sound like all like sped up or slow down when you play it. And then again, I think it's just about keeping the energy level. So if you have like this big prog breakdown, you don't really want to do that again and again and again because you're like building all this energy and then it goes down, building it down, down. Whereas if you have like more of like a bass house, like a lesso type bass house track, you can bring the energy up, keep it going, and then I don't know. I think it's just about making sure you kind of keep the energy up in terms of the continuous like maybe a kick drum always playing or a house beat's always playing. Whereas if you have like a prog house song or a big breakdown after big breakdown, like kind of a gets repetitive and then also yeah, you kind of lose energy, gain energy, like it's hard.
Okay. And I guess with that came mashups, right? You have some mashups. How I'm fascinated by mashups. I love mashups.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. Like, did that come through DJing that you thought, oh, these two tracks sound similar? Oh, you have here gravity and clarity. Did you
Oh,
think
that one.
that you think these fit? I can just lay them on top of each other. How does this work, and how do you know what tracks you use?
I think that's important. I think making sure they're in the same key or pitching it up or down to make sure it's in a similar key, similar BPM, because you don't want to like take like an 80 BPM acapella and speed it up to 128. It's gonna sound like ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's important, but I think I also kind of started in making mashups with my own tracks too, because when I play some of those sets, I don't want to have like let's say I like make my own unreleased like I have an unreleased track with some unreleased vocals, right? Like I want to appeal to the crowd, I don't want to play I'm not at the level of Martin Garrix where people are going to be like, "Oh, what is this vocal? It's crazy." Like, yeah, so I just want to kind of create a mashup with it to play out in my sets and then, once I end up releasing it, I feel like it'd be cool to um also post a mashup too. But another thing is it's just like also when you have like a release song, I think a good way to build even more traction with that track is to post mashups because like if like on my SoundCloud account, for example, like the mashups that I posted, they've outperformed the original ones because people just want that vocal that they all love, but also like that like energy that maybe I have in the original remix, you know what I mean? Or original track. Like this Jungle versus Red one, it's at 45K. I and that so
That's so that's so dope. And
yeah.
I also noticed like you have this one melody that you have everywhere. Like it's you have that with different music, with different songs.
Yeah. Yeah, so that
So
was the that's a follow you melody, of course. And then like Matt and I started before Amél was even involved in it, like we started playing it out in our sets and then we played that clarity version and then I don't know there's so many songs that work well in that key has a similar BPM so it was pretty easy to do.
yeah, how did you find the progression that you made?
There's a song by Mike Williams. It's called Pretty Little Words. And I was just playing around with that chord progression that he used in the track. And I was just like literally just jamming on top of that with my right hand. So I play those chords in my left hand, or maybe a variation of them. And then yeah, just try to figure out a new melody. And that's how it came about.
Okay, okay. That's that's so cool. And
Yeah,
then it got so much traction. That's just
I
insane.
know. It's crazy.
What did your DJ career look like up until this point? You had a lot of gigs, it seems. How did you start out, and where are you now? How much are you getting paid if you want to disclose that?
Uh, that really depends. I can't give you a concrete answer on payment. How did it start? I mean, I was just like grinding last year was just grinding just to try to find, hey, can I play a show? Can I play a set? Can I play a set? And that I'd just be flooding people's DMs with that. And finally one hit, and I was able to kind of build a network around that and then meet
Mm,
new people and meet new promoters. And they saw that I could a DJ, but also bring a crowd out to see me play. So that was pretty important too, because you don't want to book someone who doesn't sell tickets. Like it's such a business oriented thing too.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that was important. And then yeah, again, networking too. Just say, hey, at different events, hey, do you because other promoters go to different other events and you kind of get to know those people too. And they can see that you DJ.
Is that how you got to meet Matt, or did you guys meet online, or he just hit you up and saw a post, you know?
Matt, I think I'm trying to think. I think I just DM'd him one day when he was like super small. I think we were both like super small. We both kind of started out with that like Kygo sound and then kind of moved into like a prog house, like big room sound. And yeah, just I would always DM him just to chat just about different things. And then I'm like, he
Yeah.
was going the prog direction. I'm just like, hey Matt, like I have this melody. Do you want me to send it to you? It's like a prog melody. I think we could kill it. Sent it to him. He produced it out and then got sent to Amél and then Amél and Afrojack, and then yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and that was the one that really blew up then, right?
Yeah,
Do you have a manager, or do you have like a label that you work with, or was it just like all on Matt's part and they figured the whole legal thing out?
I don't have a formal team. I have people that go to that help me a lot. I wouldn't. I mean, like it's not like we have like a contract signed. Like he's my manager or anything, but like some people just help me out and things like that. But in terms of the legal part, I think Amél and Afrojack took care of that.
Oh, okay.
Like, sorry,
That,
their teams rather.
yeah, that's dope.
Mhm.
And do you know how much streams your song now has, or your remix now has?
Is at 259,000 streams.
259,000 is an amazing number, and
Yeah.
that's something that you can really move on from. Like this
Mhm.
is not like, okay, now you've made it. No, this is the starting
Yeah.
position, right? And I
Yeah.
think
No,
that's a
for sure.
pretty epic starting position.
Mhm.
Um, After your study, what is your plan? Do you wanna, so you said you wanna look for some jobs. I assume that music is not the main thing, or something that could support you right now, but what's the plan after the study? And do you potentially, if you could, want to produce music full time, or what's your vision?
I mean, that'd be cool, but I think I just take it day by day. I'm gonna obviously continue when I have a little bit more time, not studying. Just gonna continue producing music and see where it takes me. But I also gotta find a full-time job too. Like I
Yeah.
gotta figure out something to support me, my lifestyle too. Again, I'm not gonna give this up by any means. I'm still gonna keep on going with it. And it's kind of cool to see like all of Matt's success too. Just kind of gives me optimism that, if I continue to push, whether that's your social media or whatever, things are feasible. But
Okay, that's epic. But in the position that you're in right now, what would be the perfect help? Like, oh shit, my life just got 50% better. I can focus more on music or whatever. What would that be?
A social media manager, someone
Okay.
to make content for me. That's I don't feel like cringy about. Just kind of grow
Mhm.
through that because I think like I was talking to Matt about this. Like the reason for all of his success is because he's so consistent on TikTok and so consistent on Instagram, and he's kind of able to build this fan base out through that. Because again, like it's hard to kind of grow organically on Spotify or SoundCloud. I mean, you can to an extent, but like, how are you going to get noticed? And obviously, labels like it when you've a big social media presence too. So I'd say, yes, definitely a social media manager to kind of help me keep me on track, but also help me with like content and things like that. And then I don't think I know that there would be a significant growth because we saw it with Matt. Like, I think our music is very similar in terms of quality. I don't know. You can disagree if you want, but uh, yeah. Again, that I think that's would be pretty beneficial.
True. I see that a lot of DJs, producers that have been very successful in like 2010 or like, yeah, 15 years back or 10 years back, they are now rethinking of how they make their music, how they publish it, how they get attention towards them. And it's like if you want to produce music now, you have to have a degree in marketing. That would be perfect
Hmm. I
because
know it's
there's so
crazy.
much to do with just marketing and putting yourself out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's really cool to really have these insights, though. That's why I love to talk with people. Are there any artists that you look up to, especially?
I'd say Martin Garrix and Mike Williams, if you know who those two are. Yeah, how about yourself?
Uh, I have to say, I absolutely love Hans Zimmer. I
Yeah.
love Daniel Pemberton. They just make so amazing tracks. And in the EDM space, definitely Alan Walker, definitely Avicii, such a legend. It's incredible. Kygo also incredible. And yeah, I think I'm pretty basic on that part because it's like the biggest artists there are, but for a reason. They make amazing music. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. I think they're all pretty cool.
do you enjoy what you do with your study? Is that something that you're passionate about business, or is it something that you just picked because you didn't know what else, or this was like the the most interesting sounding thing? Yeah.
For, for me, it's the math. I really enjoy the math a lot. I think it's super interesting. Um, the business is kind of just like an add-on. It's just there. It's part of the degree at this point. But no, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the math part for sure.
And what can you do with you have a double degree, awesome. Um, when you're out in the market, what kind of jobs can you take?
I gotta figure that out.
Oh,
Probably like there's so many different routes you can take. I know a lot of my friends are doing finance, but I'm not a big finance guy. Um, you could go on like the I don't even know, like the actuarial science route, like insurance. Didn't like that either. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna stick to like some sort of like coding software development role. I really like that. So
if you could make music full time or DJ full time, would you do it?
if it's feasible for my lifestyle, then yeah, that'd be sick. But
Okay, that was a really deep answer. If it's feasible for your lifestyle, what
I
kind of lifestyle do you want? Mhm.
don't want to like DJ just for pennies, just to like
Yeah,
pass by. You know what I mean?
most definitely. How often do you DJ?
Probably like once a month.
Oh, okay, so there's room for more.
For sure. But like with that being said, I don't want to like DJ every weekend because like it's hard to like bring people out to all your events and
Okay, and
um
then you need more attention again. So that would
yeah,
mean you
for
need
sure.
to level up your marketing again. And then, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Sad that we can't look into the
Yeah,
project,
I know.
but
I'm sorry.
whatever. What's cool is still your story. And I think that's fascinating that go from, you can go from zero and then just start up by learning. And you start to learn producing dance to DJ. And with that, got a lot of traction with 250,000 listens. That's amazing. Do you have certain projects that are coming up in the next month or so? Or are you busy with school right now? Studying.
Uh, there's a lot, but I'm just trying to get through school. That's my main priority right now. Yeah, I
Hmm.
can't say anything like certain, but there's some cool stuff that is in the works at the very least.
Are there more collaborations coming up in the future or in the near future?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I really like working with other producers too. So
How does the whole thing work when uh you have someone you want to work together on a track? How do you know who does what and yeah, share your files? I mean, you have to use the same program, right?
you can usually just send out stems, but yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like it's honest, it's just a free for all, honestly, just to see if someone sends an idea, maybe the other person wants to polish it, or like if someone has like a chorus idea, maybe you want to build it a drop. Like it's so like I can't give you like a definitive answer.
Okay, so there are a lot of variables that.
Yeah, 100%.
And how do you find people that you want to make music with together?
I think it really depends. Like sometimes people DM me or I'll DM people if I really like their sound or I really like what they're doing and kind of go from there.
All right. And do you talk with them a lot and just like know who you're dealing with, or is it like a lot focused on music? You find someone, hey, do you want to collab? And they say yes, and then straight to business, just music. How is it?
It really depends. I can't give you like a solid answer on that. Sometimes, you just have like good banter with the other person, but sometimes it's just like straight to the point where you just want to collab and get it out.
Okay, I see. So a lot of always case to case dependent.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have certain types of music that you want to get into? Like right now, you're doing big room, EDM, progressive house, something like that. Is there like
Yeah.
something that you want to try? Maybe
Um,
hard techno or something like that?
I really want to try to make like more of like a bass house track. I feel like that would be pretty cool. I don't know. Gotta figure that out first.
So this was the part where we wanted to get into Wesley's DAW, but sadly his PC couldn't process both Zoom and his DAW at the same time. So we kind of compromised for that. I will now show you the video from his channel where he broke down his jungle remix, how he made it. Sadly, we could not get into anything else because his PC just was too weak. Boo. Anyway, I hope you have fun with that and see you in the next episode.
What's up, guys? I figured I'd make a quick video showing you guys how I made my jungle remix. But yeah, anyways, let's start with how I came up with the idea. So first I heard like the jungle remix or sorry, jungle original. I really liked the original melody with the vocals and everything, but I thought the drop was pretty underwhelming. So I wanted to kind of make it like a future house, future bounce type of remix. So anyways, the first thing I did was um I took uh I made the MIDI out of the lead melody or out of the lead vocal melody and then I turned it into like a lead bus, which sounds like this. And one big thing was it for it was I'd use these pitch bends to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, anyways, so that's what the lead bus sounds like, and it's comprised of Nexus, Silent, Silent, um, Silent, Avenger, uh, Spire, Vital, Nexus, Serum. That's pretty much it, but just a bunch of like random presets. Like I just downloaded a bunch of like Future House, Future Bounce kind of preset packs, and I kind of went off there and I used that. Um, but yeah, and then each lead has its like not very much processing. Like maybe there's like an overdrive and EQ. That's about it. So from there, I wrote it all to one mixer channel, and I added saturation. Um, sorry, all the lead synths to one mixer channel. I had saturation. I had side chain. Um, just some ozone imager to make it a little water. I had these two other EQs, a compressor, and then a kickstart. I'll show you. I automate this one, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. And then two EQs. This is super simple. Just if I want to create like an automation of filtering the leads in and out, it's super simple to do. And yeah, and then another big thing is I wrote this also to a reverb bus. So I have this reverb on it. Um, and the most important thing about this is I have this noise gate, which is if you guys use FL, this is similar to like 3DP controller, but essentially like when the signal hits, it ducks. So in this case, when the lead melody plays, the reverb ducks and then comes back when the lead melody isn't playing. I can kind of show you guys this, but here's the reverb just by itself without the lead. And you can kind of hear that it comes back as kind of comes back as the lead stops playing. But anyways, so there's that, and then I also have like this drop stab. So on every chord change, you can kind of hear it, but sounds like this. And then just change pitch. But yeah, it's just nothing special, but just adds a little more punch to the lead. And then I guess next to chords. So I had a question asking me how I made my chords so big, and I honestly don't know, but here's what they sound like, and here's the MIDI. Yeah, honestly, nothing special. That's the MIDI. It's just a couple layers, but more than a couple, but it's just like random presets that I've just found. Serum presets. I actually made this one myself, and I'm pretty happy about it because I'm sound design god clearly. But this is also a super cool one. It's just literally from Splice. Yeah, like I said, like I just collect so many presets over time, and yeah, and then for the second part of the drop, I added um these two pianos and organs just to kind of make it a little more interesting for the second part of the drop, but they sound like this. Yeah, and I thought that was super cool. But anyways, so for the processing, I have a saturation, pretty much the same preset that I used on my lead bus, and then I also have this kickstart, um, EQ, made them a little water, another kickstart, and then just a single EQ, just kind of filter them in and out. But and then onto the bass, um. So this is the sub. It sounds like this. And it's just a BS Buka. I know Mike Williams uses this exact preset, and this is why I use it. So it sounds like this is a preset. I just tweaked it a little bit, but I know like Kygo uses this preset for a lead too, so it's very versatile. But yeah, I just tweaked it. And then this This plugin's super clutch because it's kind of like R-based, but it's free. So I think I saw Justin Milo use it, but it's super cool and it kind of just boosts the low end even more. Knocked into mono, of course. I nothing with the ZQ, and then another kickstart, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But and then yeah, so the sub sounds like that. The mid bass, I feel like this is very important because it adds like the grit to the low end. But also, if you hear it on your phone speakers, you're not really gonna hear that sub bass. So this also is huge. So it sounds like this. And yeah, so I made sure it's just a bunch of like serum, silent, this is spire, yeah, spire, serum. I think I had this Nexus preset in there as well. Let's see, yeah, I have this Nexus preset too. And yeah, honestly, nothing special about it, but yeah, I also included the bark on throttle on some of my mid basses because the mid bass is still there to serve, some of the low ends too. So you have to make sure that, like, obviously you still get some of the low ends out of your mid bass too. And I kind of made sure by using this, boosting the low ends on some of the mid bass plugins. But anyways, and then what I was talking about, referring to, so there's this part here after the first part of the drop, that kind of filters out. So it's kind of a regular kick pattern. And what I did is here I just automated another sidechain that's sidechain to that irregular kick pattern. And the mix is 100% on, and then I turn the mix of the original one all the way down. You can kind of see the automation here. So I turn the mix of the original one all the way down, and then the mix of the other one all the way up. And I did that for all the synths really, just to make sure the kick really punches through. And then I have these drop effects. I think these make the track. I think it keeps it from being, stale and repetitive, and they sound like this, and they're my absolute favorite things that part of the track, by the way. But and I don't know. So I included some like honestly like I just like grind and splice and just try to find some presets, but I have like some bass shots for Virtual Riot, like which are like these heavy dubstep kind of basses. I have this like signature like Mike Williams sound here. If you hear any Mike Williams tracks, I'm sure you've heard that before. And then I also have my favorite part, this organ here, which is super cool. Let's see if it plays. And just adds, I don't know, just so much to the drop just to make it yeah, feel like less stale and just add some more variety. And then okay, next the drums. All of the drums, including some effects, sound like this. And then for the second part. Nothing special, but just gets the job done. So I had this like low kick. And then I also layered it with this top kick here. And then I have these claps. And then I have these like percussions to kind of like this percussion ride just add a little bit more groove. You can kind of see what I mean. it makes no sense, but makes no sense now, but it kind of makes sense in the track. I'll play with the lead, but um this kind of makes sense. And I also have like these sweeps, which are just nothing special. And I put rid them all to one bus, and I have the kickstart on there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the drop. Nothing special. Um, hmm, yeah, it's honestly it. And then for vocal processing, you guys probably don't care about this, but quickly, I just YouTube the MP3 of the vocal. I have the EQ compressor. I just use this preset. I don't know where I find this effect chain preset, but I don't know how it works. And then I also routed it to um a vocal delay and a vocal reverb. So I did the same thing that I did with the lead reverb, so it just ducks whenever time every time she's singing. So you can kind of hear it, it ducks, and then it gets bigger when she's not singing, which kind of just fills up the vocal a little more. But yeah, it's just like a standard delay, and then I use that same gate thing that I was talking about before. And then same with the reverb. Yeah, just a gate and then a gain just to automate just if I want to cut it out, which I do when the drop's playing. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the drop. So for the like the chorus, I thought this was also super cool. I have this piano. Um, I just want to keep like the vibe of the original track kind of with the piano, but like not like overuse it to the point where um it's like my like it's a whole drop. But yeah, so I kept it in the chorus and I also used it in the intro here. But yeah, like I said, like it's literally just the vocal melody and it plays on top of the vocal like this. And then what else do I have? I feel like these pads, and they're honestly like nothing special, but I have this kickstart on there, which is pretty exaggerating, and it gives it like this pumping effect that I heard in the original track and I thought was so cool. So like for example, like this pad, like without the kickstart, it sounds like this, but which is nothing special. And then when I add the kickstart, it gives it like this pumping effect, which is super cool. And this kind of shows that like you don't need to use kickstart just for um kickstart volume shaper like an LFO tool, like a sidechain tool, just for like just to use it just for sidechain. Like you can also make some pretty cool effects with it, in my opinion at least. And yeah, so I did that with a couple of the pads, and then I also have like yeah, I have a bunch of pads honestly. Like it's bad, but this one. Let's see what else I have here. I have this one. Like I don't know, like yeah, it's bad, but like it works. So um anyways, it sounds like this. Like this pad, I had to bounce, or sorry, this pad, super cool pad. I just had to bounce it because I don't have the Spire full version. So yeah, it's just this pad digital drift, but super cool. It has like this little artifact, noise artifact on top, which is super cool, like this sparkling. And then for the build-up drums, honestly, like nothing special, but I think it just grinds his voice for these two. Um, sounds like this. That is pretty much it. Yeah, I just got pretty much all these on Splice and kind of made them work in the mix. Like some of these, like I have this kick here. Um, and pitch it up. And I'll show you guys another cool trick that I did in a minute. And then what else do I have here? I have, okay, the verses. I have like these atmosphere things that I've just literally got in Splice. They sound like this. So they play for the verses. And then I have like this hi-hat or like this clap hat pattern here that comes in the second part, along with the horn that I use from the drop, but I just filtered it. So it sounds like this. And then you can kind of hear it, but I added some sort of delay on one of the hats. I don't know, just to make it sound a little cooler. I don't know. But it worked. And it sounds like this. These two clap layers, but like, these are all samples from Splice. Like yeah, as you can tell, I'm a huge Splice advocate here, but so I routed like all those vocals to, or sorry, all the vocals, all those drums to a bus, and I just kind of filtered them down here. But yeah, and that is pretty much it for the entire track. I also have like this free space, which is kind of cool, that plays at different parts throughout the track. Like it plays, which is a super cool preset. Got on Splice too, but that's pretty much it for the entire track. I can't really think of anything else to show you guys. But yeah, I'm so glad that you all like the track, and thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video and just see how I made the track. Thanks, guys.